All right, folks, welcome back. This is episode 15 of the Jake Ellenbogen Show. I am, of course, Jake Ellenbogen, and today we're going to be talking about a few different things. I'm going to be talking about State Champs, a band that if you're into pop punk, then you really need to check them out. I'm going to talk about Carl Weathers. Unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 76, and the man is just, he's just awesome. I was really sad about that. So I'll talk about, the impact he had on, just entertainment and how awesome he was. I'm going to talk about hearing about nepotism as an excuse for everything and why I'm sick of it as somebody that doesn't have any sort of advantage due to nepotism. It actually kind of annoys me. So I'll be talking about that. Talk about, gym life. I did red light and vibration therapy, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had the best pizza of my life in Glenmont, New York, at a place called Romo's Pizza. Now, full disclosure and disclaimer here. I still have not gone and had a legitimate New Haven style slice in New Haven, Connecticut. However, New Haven being the pizza capital of the world now, according to Dave Portnoy, and the New Haven style now being the best style of pizza. I mean, it's always been that. We just didn't all really realize how great it was until, kind of Dave let everybody know on the national scale how amazing New Haven style is. I tried New Haven style for the first time in New York, like I said, Glenmont. And man, this place, Romo's Pizza, Dave gave it a 7.9. There's a story that goes with this. And if you guys didn't see the Romo's Pizza review, which I understand if you haven't, he's done so many. And I forget which reviews that I've seen him do at this point. But anyway, Dave reviewed it at 7.9. They had a award-winning pie, and they gave that one to Dave. And that was more artisanal, which Dave doesn't really like. So he gave it a 7.9. He was like, oh, yeah, this is really good. Not really my style. And so the owner, got really upset and everything. And he actually stalked him back to his place, waited outside. Dave came out. They talked. He explained that they gave him the wrong pizza. They had a pizza specifically made that they knew he would love, which was the New Haven style. And so Dave is like, okay, I'll come back. I will try it. And really, I mean, it's kind of a heartfelt thing. It's a little weird, with the stalking, which I don't condone ever showing up to a celebrity's house or anybody's house unannounced like that. But I get it. In a sense, he wanted Dave to really capture with the video and everything how great the establishment was and how important his mom was to making Romo's Pizza a thing. And so, Dave goes and tries it again. And he said, one thing I will say is that I'm not going to rescore this. I'm not doing it because it'll just set a bad precedent. And so it's going to stay at a 7.9. But I will, I'll try it. So they give him the New Haven style, and you could tell Dave is just like, oh, man. And then he said, this would have been in the 9s. So I agree. I gave it a 9.4 in the one bite scale. I've never given a pizza more than an 8.1, I believe, which 8.1 I gave New York style right in my area. I don't want to say too much because I don't need people to know exactly where I live. But, I gave it an 8.1 New York style pizza. I will say this. I had never tried New Haven before. So I'm aware Sally's a Pizza. I'm aware of Frank Pepe's in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm aware that is the cream of the crop. I've never tried that. This is the first time I've ever tried New Haven style. I gave it a 9.4. I can't wait to actually try New Haven pizza. But New Haven, for those of you who don't know, basically a New Haven pie is coal-fired pizza with a domino looking bottom, not Domino's pizza, like a domino, like you have a bunch of spots, maybe like a Dalmatian. That's probably a better way of putting it. A domino Dalmatian bottom undercarriage. It has charred crust, great crisp, but it's not crunchy. It's not burnt to all hell. And, you know, you can get it different. You can get a tomato pie. You can get a regular cheese and tomato pie. I mean, personally, for me, I like the tomato and the cheese. Why do we like New Haven style? Well, because it has this nice crisp. And if you don't like crispy pizza and you want, like, you know, giant, you know, high-rise crust or deep dish or whatever, then it's not for you. But if you like the same type of pizza that I do, and you like that little smoke that comes with it, and whatever the hell cheese they used was, oh my God, it was delectable. If you're looking for something like that, then, well, Romo's in Glenmont, New York. And I will not tell you how far away that is from my house. For those of you who know me personally that are listening to this, then I'm sure you can figure that out. And I appreciate you guys that are listening to this, but I know not everyone listens to this to support me. It's more hate listening. And if there's somebody willing to hate listen, I think there's definitely somebody willing to go as far as to send me stuff to my house or show up, or I just don't want to deal with it. So that is that. But yeah, check out, if you can, this is your homework from the show. Check out a New Haven style slice. I understand if you're in California, I'm not saying to fly out to New Haven, but I'm not against that either. But I am saying that there are spots that try to do New Haven style. You should at least try that, because man, is it good. Life-changing, actually. I don't even know if I'll ever look at pizza the same again. I'm just being honest. That's just how I feel. So I want to talk a little bit about the gym. Guys, I did just get back in the gym. I'm going consistently now. Today is the rest day. I wanted to go today. I actually wanted to golf today, but my body was telling me otherwise. Hey, you're going a little too hard. You know, you're back at the gym. Just calm down a little bit. So I had to take a rest day. Because the thing is, when I get into the gym, I don't slowly get into it. I go ham. You know, I've totally lost it before, like going to the gym. I've been in the best shape of my life. You know, going to the gym like consistently, like every single day. And then, you know, there've been times where I thought I looked pretty good, but I was only going 4 times a week. So, you know, really, I'm just trying to find that healthy balance. And really, it's also a lot of growth, I think. And this is why I laugh, because, you know, I never realized how different like a 22-year-old was to a 28-year-old. And then I became that 28-year-old. And now I realize, like, even 28-year-old me is so different than 27-year-old me. I'm just learning new shit every single fucking year. And it is the best. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm learning from others' mistakes. I'm, you know, brushing shoulders with people that, you know, truly care. And it's just making me better, you know, at whatever I'm doing. You know, getting to do, you know, shows with certain people, and, you know, even having people reach out to me that I didn't even know would reach out to me. So it's just one of those things, man. Like, you live and you learn. And, you know, what I'm getting at is that I always told myself during the NFL season, since it's, you know, that's my full-time job, during the NFL season, I can't commit to the gym. I just can't do it. I'll try and go when I can, which is never, and I can't commit to it. And to me, my life is going so well aside from my fitness. And I'm not saying I weigh like 250 pounds or anything like that at 5'8". You know, I weighed about 185, which is close to the most I've ever weighed. 190 is the most, but most of that was muscle, actually. So 185 is probably the most overweight I've been. And I'm 5'8", and I typically like to sit around 160 to 165 unless I'm bulking. So when I'm feeling in the best shape of my life, it's 165 essentially. So the point I'm making here, folks, is that it was an excuse. It's not true. It's bullshit. It's just something I told myself to make myself feel better about not going to the gym. Oh, it's so hard during the NFL season. No, it's fucking not. It's what's hard is making these excuses and then trying to get out of it. It's like you're lying and you're bringing yourself into a deeper lie, and then you can't get out of it. You're in like a fucking pit of despair. That's the issue. So I'll be honest with you, and I'll be honest with myself. I had the realization when I was going to the gym, earlier this week. I was like, shit, I can do this. My biggest issue has always been routine building and keeping said routine. I'm a very phases-oriented person. As you can tell, my content, and don't get me wrong, I've put out a lot of videos, I've made a lot of content, but still, I have phases. You ever notice, like if you follow me on YouTube, you ever notice how I have to change the thumbnail? No idea why, but I always have to change the thumbnail format. I mean, I'll like the thumbnail format, and then like one day I'll just want to change it. I'm a phases type of person. I could be really into horror movies. I thought I was obsessed with horror movies, and I still really, really, really like horror movies. I have Michael Myers in the back of my setup. But now, I've been really into action. I've been really into, the Scorsese films and, the Scarfaces of the world and things along that nature. But if you talk to me 4 or 5 years ago, I was into comedy. I have these phases that I go through, right? But I think really my focus as I've gotten older is to eliminate the phases and just develop a disciplined routine that I stick to. And that is what my hope is for the gym, is that once, it's easy to go to the gym when you have nothing going on, which is bullshit because I have tons of stuff going on, which is also what makes it a lie, because I probably work harder in the months doing the NFL draft stuff than I do the entire regular season, because the draft stuff, I mean, it's just nonstop. So it's a lie. I'm going to have to go to the gym during the draft stuff, and I'll still do that. But you can also fit 30 to 45 minutes a day. I just don't have to go 2 hours like I used to. That was never good either. You don't need to go 2 hours to the gym unless you're trying to bodybuild. You're trying to be a professional weightlifter. 30 minutes suffices, But anyway, the point is I'm getting back to where I was at. And the good thing is I'm starting to feel better. Mentally I feel great. I mean, a lot of stuff is going right for me. I can't complain. I'm moving soon. So that's going to be nice. Still staying in the area, and all that, but moving out of my folks' house, because I mean, it's long overdue. I almost moved right before COVID, those of you who don't know, to LA, and then COVID happened, and I ended up not sending over the deposit. So that's pretty much what happened. I didn't want to move during that, so I stayed home, and then, my roommate dropped out and so forth. So look, point I'm making here is that I just need to be better at being more disciplined in my routines. That's really what it comes down to. But I also want to be open to trying new things. And one of those new things happens to be red light and vibration therapy. And, I heard about this, and it's funny. I don't know how. I fell asleep watching a YouTube video, and I woke up and this dude was talking about vibration therapy and how it's so great for the body after a workout. And I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then I heard about red light therapy from somebody, and I still can't remember who was telling me about it. Might have been one of you guys. So apologies if I forgot. But look, I heard red light therapy is great for the skin. It's great for your eyes, like just all this stuff, right? And then I was hearing vibration therapy is great. You could lose weight, burning fat. Like, obviously, I don't expect it's not a miracle worker. You have to put in the work. You have to eat right. I get that. But there was a lot to it. And I was like, oh, shit. Where, I was interested. I was like, where can I find this? So one day I'm at the gym. I go to Planet Fitness, and this motherfucking sign has been up there since the building became a thing, since I got my membership. And I just noticed, like, it's always been there. I've noticed it was there, but I just read it, earlier in the week. And I was just going to the water fountain to just fill up my, my cup. And I saw it. I was like, oh shit, it has red light therapy and vibration therapy. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of fucking cool. I was like, that's exactly what I was looking for. And that's part of the black card, which I have. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm a member. I'll do that. So I did it. And full disclosure here for anybody that is uncomfortable with this, you basically dress down to whatever you're comfortable with. So, I mean, you could do the thing in the nude, honestly. Actually, a lot of people do that, or you can go down to whatever you would wear at like a massage, whatever you feel comfortable with. And it's a full body 12-minute thing. I mean, I recommend taking your shirt off. I recommend, having most of your clothes off. Keep your socks on, maybe, wear boxers, whatever. But the thing works, man. I'll tell you this right now. The first day I started it, I was doing leg day, and after I finished my leg workout, I was like, I couldn't walk. I was like, holy fuck. I was like, I've never been in this position before. I can't walk. Like, I had to sit down. And so I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the sign. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to ask him, see if it helps. It's like, hey, can I use the full total body enhancement machine? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, sick. So I used it. And after I get out of the thing, which by the way, it's cool because there are different settings. So you can just have it I don't even know, regulate just the air. So you go in there and it just sends air that blows at you. I don't know. I would never do that. To me, the plate that you're standing on, you want that to be on a level 2, which gives you it's a beginner level at the very least. Gives you an idea, but you can get it all the way up to level 4 and, it gets really fast and everything. That's not for everybody. But the point I'm making here is that I get out of the thing after not being able to walk, and then 12 minutes of that machine, I get out of the machine and I feel great. Not only that, I feel so good that I had to tell myself that I was going home because I wanted to go work out again. So I think it's a must. I don't know how many facilities there would be at if you don't have Planet Fitness, I don't know where you're going to find it. I don't know if it's at Vent. I don't know if it's at any of the other fitness joints, but I know it's at Planet Fitness. I think all of them have it because it's a black card perk. And I don't know how many there are. There's only one room at my location, and it's great. I haven't had any issue. I waited a total of 5 minutes for somebody once. That's it. So I highly recommend it. It's not for everybody. So, read the guidelines. I am not responsible for anything that happens to you because again, you might have something, they have guidelines there for certain people. Like for instance, if you have a pacemaker, don't use it. If you just had surgery, don't use it. Things like that. Also, you want to separate it 24 hours out. You don't want to do it you don't want to do it multiple times a day. You don't want to do it, under 24, there, So that's how I feel, because I mean, end of the day, it's a really cool tool, but just like anything, you got to be careful. You got to use it in moderation. The recommended usage rate in a 90-day span is 2 to 3 times a week. So that's what I intend to do. And they said that you can not they, but just research says that you can start to see effects like get rid of acne on your face, which I don't really have any, but that's cool to know. And just it's de-aging almost, the wrinkles will die down and things like that. So it keeps your skin, in good shape and everything. Any blemishes go away because the red light, bathes you essentially. So, I mean, hey, look, it's great. I mean, I'm not going to lie. And I think that everyone should do it after their workout because it's a great way to get that recovery going. Now, again, I would only do it at max 3 times a week, but maybe you do it 4 or 5, and I don't know. As long as you're waiting 24 hours in between, you should be fine. And keep this in mind. Red light is bright. So it might not be for everybody. So if it is too bright for you, at least my location wasn't crazy about, these different guidelines and stuff. And, it's kind of just self-serve. So they get it set up for you and then you go in the room and then you do it all yourself. But bring sunglasses if it's going to be too crazy for you. I mean, to be honest with you, they'll probably have eye protection in the room. They have it here, at my location. I don't use it because I want to get the full benefits, but some people can't, it's just too bright. If you likely suffer from motion sickness, because I deal with that, right? I can't do VR. I can't do VR too much. And I can't go on those roller coasters, or not the roller coasters, but those rides, because Universal's obsessed with those rides that use all the motion and all that. I can't go on those. I will throw up. But I've done this now 4 times and I feel great afterwards. I don't feel like I'm going to be nauseous. I don't feel seasick, but other people deal with it. So you just got to be, ready for that. So yeah. If you're, you do dive into that, let me know how your experience is, because my thing is I'm all about just trying to find new ways to keep myself going. If that helps with my recovery, then awesome. I didn't have that before when I had the best shape of my life. So now, what's going to happen now that I have a recovery hack, So that's how I look at it. But yeah, I mean, I talked to Weil about that, but the point is I don't know. I think it's really fucking cool. Red light and vibration therapy, and just how it's, there's so much out there on it now. So yeah, give it a shot if you haven't already. Like I said, I've done it. I like it. But anyway, we'll move on. The reason we'll move on is because the Rams, as most of you know, and I assume most of you are Rams fans, but I'm sure not all of you are Rams fans. Let me just tell you this. So Chris Shula, who... his grandfather is Don Shula. His dad, Dave, was a head coach in the NFL for the Bengals. Wasn't very good. Mike Shula is considered the poster boy of what a bad coach at Alabama looks like. That was his uncle. And his grandfather is a legend. But because he had the Shula name, he was going to get hit with all of the, it's all nepotism. He's a nepo baby, all that. Let me just be the first one to say, and I know I'm not the first, but I need to say this. My last name is Ellenbogen. That would have gotten me somewhere if I went into law, if I became a lawyer, because the Ellenbogen name matters in my area as a lawyer. But as far as playing sports, coaching, anything like that, pretty much anything I want to do, I have to earn my way. I don't have an Ellenbogen that is going to push me in the sports realm. I do have an Ellenbogen that she does her, I forget where she works now, but she covers entertainment and all that. But it's not the same thing that I'm doing, so it's not like by her being in the industry, I'm getting lucky breaks, right? It's not like my father was, a top-notch reporter and now I'm getting a lucky break because of it. And even if that was the case, no judgment if that's the case for you. My point is that I don't give a fuck how you got where you got. The trash takes itself out. If you don't put in the work and you're just some trust fund kid living off your dad, well, guess what's going to happen? It's going to catch up with you, and you're going to be, knocked down a peg. That's why I don't care. Because people said Sean McVay was, it's all nepotism because his, grandfather was John McVay. Well, who gives a fuck? Sean McVay's the best coach in the National Football League, So, I don't really care. And with Chris Shula, it's bullshit. You talk about a guy who had to be a graduate assistant, and he spent some time before he even got in the NFL. Then he gets in the NFL, he's with the Chargers, whatnot. And then McVay brings him over, his second job in the NFL, and 2017, he's the assistant outside linebackers coach, assistant linebackers coach, then outside linebackers coach, then inside linebackers coach, becomes a defensive backs coach, passing game coordinator, pass rush coordinator, now defensive coordinator. So he's been promoted 6 times. He's worked his ass off since 2017. And because he knows Sean McVay, because his last name is Shula, he gets the whole nepotism bullshit. And I think that is just fucking disrespectful, because the idea that everything is all nepotism based is just not, it's not fair. If somebody works their tail off and they weren't just implanted right into the system, then it shouldn't matter. And Sean McVay is the closest thing you get to what they say, but Sean McVay is the best coach in football. So who gives a fuck? So I'm so tired of hearing that, man. Like, who cares? Like, I know people on both sides. I know people that have had the push that they needed, so the nepotism push, and then they've absolutely killed it. And I know people that have had the nepotism push and they've absolutely botched it. And I know people that haven't had the nepotism push. They've come from literally nothing and they have absolutely killed it. And I know people that have come from literally nothing and haven't been able to get anything off the ground. I mean, look, it all comes out in the wash. If you put in the work, if you work hard enough, if you're willing to take what you want to do seriously, and it's not just, oh, hey, you know what would be cool? Like, here's the thing. If you ever, as an entrepreneur or content creator or anybody pursuing anything, if you ever say, wouldn't it be cool? That's you already resigning to the idea that it's not going to happen. And that is the worst thing you can do for yourself, because there's no way to know that. Wouldn't it be cool sounds like a dream. Turn your fucking dream into a reality. Don't say, wouldn't it be cool? Fucking work for it. So that's what bothers me so much about the nepotism shit. Also, another thing that bothers me, the people that are saying nepotism in the comments section on like an Adam Schefter post about Chris Shula getting hired are a bunch of fucking losers. They're people that are bottom of the barrel people in society. There are people that don't have jobs. There are people that just make troll accounts on the internet. There are people that don't aspire to be anything. Like, that's the irony of it. So the whole anti-nepotism thing, look, you're going to earn what you earn, okay? It's really that simple. Like, I mean, one of my close friends that I met in this industry, his dad should be a Hall of Famer, was robbed, Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield Jr. and I, we're friends, really good friends. Like, I talk to him all the time. So in what way, because, he always gets called out for, oh, he's the Nepo baby. In what way is he, like, how is his life so much easier because his dad's Gary Sheffield? He still has to work his ass off. Look at his golf channel. He's still working his ass off. He's still going out there. He's still editing. I know how much he works because I streamed with him all summer last year. And I'm going to be working with him more and collaborating with him more as this year goes on. It bothers me. I know people who may have the name, like, oh, he has the last name. Yeah, but you have to fucking work for that shit. And it's not like, oh, Gary is, Gary Sheffield's son. So now, Gary Jr., he automatically is going to be in the major leagues. He's a general manager for the Yankees or he's batting third. No, it doesn't work that way. It's such bullshit, man. Fuck the nepotism talk. I mean, hard work is all that matters. At the end of the day, if you're willing to put it all out on the line, sure, having a nice push helps, but that shit goes away. There is a expiration date on that. I mean, it's really that simple. So, moving on to the unfortunate part of the show, Carl Weathers died at age 76. I'm not going to be talking about celebrity deaths every single episode. We want to keep the mood on here. Somewhat happy and exciting, but also, serious and some passion, like behind the nepotism talk and cussing a little bit and just letting you know how I feel. The Carl Weathers thing, though, is big for me because, first off, I've watched him in 5 different things. Like, I loved him in 5 different things. Apollo Creed in Rocky. He's just such an awesome character. And if you haven't seen Rocky, you got to, because Apollo Creed is he's so awesome. Carl Weathers also played Greef Karga in Mandalorian. This one freaking just absolutely crushes me because I just saw him finish out season 3 of Mandalorian. Everything was good. He was, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, things were good. And now I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to say he died, off screen? Like, how are they going to, that sucks. Chubbs in Happy Gilmore. Everyone knows Chubbs. Now, I will say this. The scenes where Apollo, and I don't want to spoil anything, so if you haven't seen Rocky, skip forward now. Okay. The scene where Apollo gets killed by Ivan Drago, that scene hits harder. And the scene where Chubbs is in the sky in Happy Gilmore, looking down on Happy, that scene gets heavier. So it's sad. He played himself in Arrested Development, which, by the way, if you've never seen Arrested Development, definitely go and do yourself a favor and watch that. I have a theory. If you guys have ever seen Ozark and Arrested Development, I have a theory that Michael Bluth in Arrested Development is Marty Byrde in Witness Protection Program, or at least the same guy. I mean, he's played by the same actor, Jason Bateman, but I actually think he's the same guy. I also am curious to know where you guys are on that. So definitely drop a comment or at me on Twitter. I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And he was Dylan in Predator, which of course you have the most popular GIF when, the guys that are, handshaking, that GIF that was, him in Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, it sucks, man. Carl Weathers, he just, I don't know, man. It sucks. Like and I guess that's kind of the thing, is that I never got to meet him or anything like that. So I can't say what he was, as a person, but who he was as a person, but everything even Giancarlo Esposito, who only worked with him, I think, for Mandalorian, spoke really highly of him. Obviously, Sly Stallone, just, really distraught and hurt. I mean, it just sucks because it's one thing when, the thing about death is when you kind of expect it to happen. And I mean, it's sad because you're watching the end come, but at least you're prepared. When somebody like that dies and that they're still planning on being, so to speak, being an actor, being on TV, being in a movie. I mean, same goes with just real life. Someone dies and they had plans for next week. That's when it hurts, like a lot. I mean, they all hurt equally. Don't get me wrong. Death is death. But as far as celebrity deaths, it'd be a little bit more understanding and it wouldn't hit as much if Carl Weathers died at age 100, right? Okay, he was done with acting. He was, he lived a long life. I mean, age 76, it's not bad, but knowing that he full well was not done with Mandalorian, was probably going to be in other projects, that's the sad thing. So rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Great actor, fun actor, and just a genuinely likable dude. Moving on to the last two topics of the show here that I have for you guys. You ever just sit there and when you listen to music and one day it kind of hits you, I like this band more than I realized. I had that realization fairly recently with the band State Champs. They're from my area in upstate New York, and they've gotten really big. They went on tour with All Time Low and I think Blink-182, and I think they've been with Fall Out Boy before. They sound like older Fall Out Boy, like Take This to Your Grave, From Under the Cork Tree, Fall Out Boy. And they have some lit to them, and they have some Blink-182. I've always been a fan. The drummer, most of the guys in the band knew me, my sister, my dad. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. But are they the best pop punk band around? I mean, I love Blink-182 and I love Green Day, but there's just something about State Champs songs. It's so devoid of any political leaning. It's so catchy. It's not just the same shit over and over again. And the problem is I actually don't like the genre today. I think pop punk, and the reason I say this is because I listen to them a lot, and I actually haven't listened to them a lot. I just started listening to them again a lot. I've gone to their shows. I don't like who opens up for them. And I hate to, poo-poo, the small bands because, it's just not right. But I got to be honest with you. There's a reason why a lot of these bands are continuously opening up for state champs and they're not headlining because they offer nothing. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on music. All music, it's great that you're creating something. But my issue is everyone tries to copy Tom DeLonge's voice in the pop punk genre. Everyone. And then their lyrics are so stale. And the music just isn't really hooky. And then, it's just, I don't know. I just don't really care for it. So that's the thing. When you listen to an old Fall Out Boy record, you're like, that is some of the best music of that genre I've ever heard. And you listen to Paramore and you listen to, Green Day and Lit and Blink-182 and you're like, okay. And even, Sum 41 to a degree, not really my favorite, but Yellow Card's not bad early on. The point I'm making is that, really the genre, they have standouts. And it's fair to say, if you guys have never heard them, definitely check them out if you're into that genre. State Champs is a standout. Full stop. I mean, they're the best pop punk band right now around, I think. Fall Out Boy is not pop punk anymore. Green Day is more, punk rock. Even Blink-182 is more punk rock. I think pop punk, the best is State Champs. I've never liked All Time Low either, to be fair. And there's bands like, A Day to Remember who toyed with it, but never quite went that direction. So, yeah, I think they're great. I think the thing that makes them great is, they're catchy. They got all these hooks and, the musicianship is good. And I think the lead singer, Derek, he just has this voice that's kind of gritty. Some would say it's generic, but I actually really like it. I think it has some kind of lit to it. But yeah, I don't know. I really like them, and it sucks because I don't plan on ever seeing them in concert again. Because I'll say this right now, my dad's generation gets hit with you're too old for it. You don't understand when it comes to mosh pits and stage diving and all that. Oh, I'm fucking 28 years old and I despise that shit. Call me crazy. I might be hurting some of your feelings, but I'm going to be honest with you. I fucking hate stage diving. I didn't come to a concert to get a black eye. I didn't come to a concert to have to be carried out on a stretcher. I didn't come to a concert to get knocked out. I came to a concert to fucking hear the music and see it live. That's why I'm at a concert. That's why I'm at a rock show. I'm not there to get drop kicked in the face, which has happened. I'm not there to get my glasses broken, which has happened. I'm not there to have to, take my brother and carry him out of a fucking mosh pit, which has happened. That's the issue. Not to mention, you go to a state champ show, you're going to have 5 fucking bands that you have to listen to that all sound exactly the same, are nowhere near the level of state champs. Then when they come on, by the time they come on, even if you're in the front row, now you're all the way in the 6th row because people charge. And there's no barricade, so people just go on the stage and just fucking dive off it. And I get, yeah, that's part of the culture, but at some point or another, if they don't change that, I don't think I'm going to go to another show. And that's nothing against state champs. That's literally just how the genre is nowadays. And it's how it was back then, but I just don't like it. I don't like the no barricade thing. I really don't. I've been to metal shows that are just way more calm and enjoyable than pop punk shows nowadays. It's kind of disappointing. I had my glasses destroyed at a show. I saved this one girl because this guy he wasn't stage diving. That's another thing. There's a fine line between stage diving and having fun, which I'm still not a fan of. crowd surfing, all that, and just committing assault. If you're going to come off the stage and do a fucking drop kick, like a missile drop kick, like a WWE superstar, then in my opinion, I mean, that's like assault. And this guy was going to do that. And this girl, really cute girl, I never really ended up talking with her much, but I saw she was about to get absolutely lit up by this guy's 13 size boot. And I grabbed her and I basically like ripped her out of harm's way. And I'm glad I did. Now I ended up getting kicked by so he missed the first boot, and then the second one, because I don't even know, like he went feet first, but he had like a trailing leg, and I got kicked in the face on the follow through leg, and I was so disoriented, and my glasses came off and I couldn't fucking see. And the whole show, the rest of the show, I couldn't see. And that was the first fucking song. They played Secrets, and that was the first song of the fucking show. And the whole rest of the show that I paid money after listening to 5 fucking bands that I could not stand. And I stood, literally standing with no barricade, like for hours. Because they want you to get to the show at 5. So then you get to the show at 5 and the show starts at 6. And then you get to the show, it starts at 6. State Champs doesn't go on until fucking 9:30. And they play until it's like 10:30. They don't even play like a large set. But this isn't me hating on a band that I really like. This is me just telling you exactly what I can't stand about these shows. That's why I love going to like Paramore. I love going to Fall Out Boy. I love going to Foo Fighters. You don't see that at those. Are you kidding me? If someone tried to stage dive, I think Dave would kick him off the stage. I've actually seen that before, by the way. WWE wrestler Chris Jericho, although he might be somewhere else now. I don't really follow, although I'll get into something with them in a sec. But Chris Jericho in a band Fozzy, I was at this place in Syracuse. It was called K-Rockathon. It got canceled. But yeah, it was this festival. And I remember this guy jumped on the stage and Chris Jericho fucking drop kicked him off the stage. It was the greatest thing ever. Because I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. You have no business being on stage. None. You are there. You are a consumer. You are there to listen and to watch. If you want to try doing a mosh pit, fine. I hate them, but I can coexist with that. When I have to dodge projectile people, that's when Mr. Boomer's going to come out. Like, I get called a boomer for that, but hey, sorry, I like having my teeth. I like having my glasses. I like having, well, not a concussion, so to speak. Oh, where'd you get that black eye? It looks like you fought somebody. No, I got it getting drop kicked at a fucking pop punk concert. Oh, okay. Why were people drop kicking you? Because there was no barricade. Somebody got on stage and decided to fucking missile drop kick like they were in the WWE. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I've had that conversation before, by the way. So yeah, not my cup of tea. However, the music is fantastic. If you're into that type of stuff, they have rowdy shows. I'm sure you'd enjoy it, but until they figure that out, until they end that, I don't think I'll go to another show for them. But I'll keep supporting their music and everything. And like I said, I absolutely love what they're putting out. And I keep in mind, this may have come off as negative, but I gave them a lot of praise before I did that. So, I don't know. Anyway, to wrap this thing up, I like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but he's got the biggest ego of all time. He's going to replace Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. By the way, I did stop watching WWE years ago. I get occasional updates from friends, and I just have to say, the idea that The Rock, who maybe wrestles once every year, if even, is going to replace Cody Rhodes, who won the Royal Rumble. If you guys follow WWE, if not, totally understand. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, which allows him to fight at WrestleMania, compete for the title, which is held by Roman Reigns, who is The Rock's, I don't know, nephew. I think they're related in some way. He's been the title holder for like 6 years. So the point is, this is WWE. All it is supposed to be is it's like a soap opera for grown-ups, essentially. Well, no, I mean a kid's soap opera that also grown-ups care about, because there are a lot of like older WWE fans. Here's my thing, okay? I stopped watching because tag teams were ridiculous. They have the same format every single time. The good guys are killing it. Then the bad guys, they get on a run. Then the good guys all of a sudden do well. And then, the referee gets knocked down. Then the bad guy does something illegal and allows him to pin the good guy. Then the referee wakes up, doesn't know how anything happened, even though the guy has blood gushing out of his head and there's a steel chair on the side. And he just starts counting, and then there you go. No disqualification, but the bad team wins. I got so tired of that same script and format, and I grew out of it because I used to love it. But for those of you who don't know, WrestleMania is like their Super Bowl. It's a huge deal. It's the end of the season. It takes place April, normally March, April. And Cody Rhodes had an injury, and last year he faced Roman Reigns, I believe. And keep in mind, I don't follow this super well, so I'm just telling you based on what I believe and what I've heard from a few of my friends that do watch it. So Cody Rhodes came off this injury, and he fought Roman Reigns last year and lost. And yes, it's not real. Okay, it's scripted. The stunts are real, but the outcomes are scripted. Obviously, there's some things that they fake. The point I'm making here is that The Rock is like a shareholder of the WWE. So I guess rumors are that he stepped in and said he needed to be the main event to save WrestleMania. So unprecedented, we had, I don't think this has ever happened, where the winner of the Royal Rumble, who would automatically fight the champion at WrestleMania, because what they would always do is point to the WrestleMania banner or whatever thing hanging in the rafters after the match, and everyone would say, oh yeah, he's going to WrestleMania. Yeah, well, guess what? They had Cody Rhodes' character say, I'm not going to fight you, but he is. So, I mean, that has to be so pathetic. I mean, think about that. Cody Rhodes, just bear with me, because I don't follow WWE either. So don't roll your eyes. Just hear me out. I don't follow WWE either, but I do know from watching it and following it back in the day that these guys put their body on the line. They get freaking addicted to painkillers. They put themselves through the fucking ringer. And what you don't know is that it's not just the tapings. See, everyone sees Friday Night SmackDown. They see Monday Night Raw or whatever the hell else, what other show they have. Then they have a pay-per-view every month, right? So they have a pay-per-view every month. That's like their big, whatever. The point I'm making here is that those aren't the only times they wrestle. If that was the case, okay. No. Cody Rhodes and pretty much everyone else on that roster has to wrestle in things that are called house matches. So house matches and house shows, if you will, are WWE events that you can go and see, because I've seen one myself. They are not taped. So I did not know this back when I first went to one. I was a lot younger. Jeff Hardy fought the Great Khali, and I was trying to find this match. I was like, this match was awesome. I was trying to find this match like on TV. No, because that was not taped. Like, that's the thing. WWE Live is not, it's a house show. A house show is a not taped show. They go around and they have these matches. They're called dark matches. They even do this before the tapings. So even at shows that they do tape, they have dark matches after the cameras go out. You get a nice little main event that the people at home don't get to see. Even sometimes before. And before WrestleMania, if you're at the WrestleMania event, you get like exclusive dark matches that aren't on camera. My point I'm making here is that Cody Rhodes is fighting almost every single night. And you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who had his time back in the 90s and the 2000s, a little bit early 2000s. He had his time, and he went and became a movie star. And he's making really good of himself. And he still, floats around the WWE from time to time. And I'm a fan of his. I like him. But you have this guy, you're telling me, he's this part-time wrestler, not even part-time, like once a year annual guy. and he gets to be at WrestleMania over the guy that's putting his body on the line, is getting injured week in, week out. Are you serious? And you're going to make it so you're going to write it into the script where Cody, his character, is going to have to do that? Like, he's going to have to say it. He's giving up his title match. It might be scripted. It absolutely is. But the point I'm making is that he still has to go out and say that. He might not agree with that, but that's his job. That's his character. If he goes off script, he gets fired. That's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. That's like giving a promotion to somebody. No, you know what that's like? I'll tell you what that's like. That's the idea of working 365 every single day of the year. You wait for your bonus at the end of the year, right? So you're getting this bonus, this company bonus, and then they give it to the new guy who isn't new. He comes in every now and then. He's a consultant for the company. He used to be one of the big guys back in the day, but now he just consults. You have a higher standing. You put in more work, and you have a more important job, but they just gave your bonus to that guy. That's what pisses me off. And that makes me never want to watch it again. When I heard that, I'm not a Cody Rhodes fan. I'm not like anti-Cody. I just don't really care. I liked Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, John Morrison, Kofi Kingston. That was actually, I think the last WWE event that I watched, Kofi Kingston won the Royal Rumble. Or no, he won WrestleMania, won the WWE title. That was huge. But that's it. Like, I don't know if you're still listening, because I understand not everybody's into WWE and I don't really follow it. But how does that not piss you off to a degree? Because that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson going behind the scenes and talking to the higher ups and be like, this is how it needs to be. That's fucking bullshit, man. And you know he's not winning. How can he win? How can you give a guy who wrestles once a year and not even some years, how can you give him the championship and have him be the face of the brand? That's insane. He had his time. Again, I like The Rock, but holy shit. So that's my thoughts. Beefy episode. This is supposed to be a daily show. I underestimated how busy I'm going to get, so it'll come out when it comes out, but I'm going to try to keep it consistent. We're already up to episode 15. I'm not complaining. Hopefully you guys aren't either. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help me out. Spread this around if you took anything from it. And leave a 5-star review if you would like to combat all of the negative reviews I got. That would be awesome. But until next time, guys, I am Jake Ellenbogen, and I am signing off. Episode 16 will not take as long as episode 15 did. So appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Later, folks.